The purpose I have selected for my EDU 210 assignment is to focus on language arts in the grade 6 classroom. In the initial exercise, I will be using the novel which we have just completed for our novel study, The One and Only Ivan by Katherine Applegate. I will be conducting a mini lesson on turning points and will provide quotations from the novel to illustrate how the story changed. So, when looking at a story, what is a turning point? The key defining traits of a turning point in a story are when a character's attitude begins to change, when the character begins to see a situation differently. These two ultimately lead to taking the story in a new direction. Okay, let's keep these in mind and start by looking at Ivan's attitude before the turning point. He says, "I always try to give humans the benefit of the doubt." Even though he has spent the last 27 years in captivity, Ivan has maintained a forgiving attitude when it comes to humans. He reflects, "A silverback uses anger to maintain order and warn his troops of danger. When my father beat his chest, it was to say, 'Beware, listen, I am in charge. I am angry to protect you because that is what I was born to do. Here in my domain, there is no one to protect.'" It sounds as though Ivan doesn't feel like he has a purpose as a gorilla. He spends his days painting and watching people watching him. He hasn't been able to assume the role of a silverback gorilla, which is what he was meant to be. "I've never asked for a promise before. Promises are forever, and forever is an unusually long time, especially when you're in a cage." "Domain," Ivan corrects. Again, here is Ivan's forgiving attitude coming through, giving his keeper Mac the benefit of the doubt. When did we see a change in Ivan? What happened that changed the way he thought about his domain and his feelings of being kept in captivity? The turning point in the novel is around when Ivan's dear friend Stella dies. "I promise, Stella," he says. "I promise it on my words as a silverback." Ivan makes a promise that he will protect Ruby. Having Ruby to protect is helping Ivan to become a true silverback, a protector just like his father. This is where we start to see his attitude change and the story begin to change direction. "I feel something tighten in my chest, something dark and hot. And it's not a domain," he adds. He pauses and then says, "It's a cage." Ivan is starting to see that what Mac is doing is wrong, and that they should not be living in captivity in the shopping mall. In order to protect Ruby, his own attitude needed to change. The way he sees that mall has gone through a dramatic change, and his perception of himself has changed as well. "I'm a silverback, Ruby, a leader. I pull back my shoulders and hold my head high. They don't have to like me. They have to respect me." At the end of the novel, Ivan is able to save Ruby, Bob, and himself, and he finally begins to see himself as a silverback. Now that we've talked about what a turning point is and how it can change a story, each of you is going to do some brainstorming of some turning points that have happened in your lives. This will help you get your brainstorming skills nice and warmed up for when you need to start developing ideas for your personal narrative. We're going to be putting these ideas into mind maps, and then posting our mind maps to our blogs, where we're documenting our writing information, our mind mapping, and our completed stories. You'll be able to access these from home, so you can show your parents and friends what you're working on in your novel study, or look at your classmates' writing and leave comments when it comes time to give peer feedback. Simply go to www.mindmeister.com and log in. Choose from a template. Let's go with the one for brainstorming. We want to start by titling our mind map. I'm going to call mine Turning Points in My Life. This is where you'll have to do some brainstorming. To add another bubble onto our mind map, we're going to click on the Turning Points in My Life bubble, and we're going to press Tab. That will make a new one pop up. Let's fast forward. Now that I'm finished, I'm going to post my mind map on my blog. In order to do this, I need to take a screenshot or a picture of my mind map. On the computer with the mind map in front of me, I'm going to click on Command Shift 4, holding them all down at once, and once a little cursor that looks like a cross pops up, I'm going to drag it to make a box around my mind map, or what I want to screenshot. Okay, we've got one. It's going to save to the desktop, so we can use that to load onto our blog. Log into our blog site that we've set up on EduBlogs. Our latest blog post will pop up. We're going to bring our cursor over to My Sites. Hovering over the name of your site will bring up a menu, and we're going to click on New Post. We're going to enter in the title of this post. I'll call mine Turning Point Mind Mapping. Click on the button Add Media. Select Files and select your screenshot, pressing Choose to Finish. Once we've got our screenshot in the media box and it's finished loading, we're going to press Insert into Post. We'll adjust the size so that we can read it and press Publish. A bar will pop up at the top with some green on it saying Post Publish, View Post. We're going to click on that, and if we scroll down, we can see our blog post.